Dun, 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 dun. So let's talk about My Girl, which is celebrating its 30th anniversary today. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name's Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1991 coming-of-age dramedy My Girl, released by Columbia, directed by Howard Zieff, written by Lawrence Elwany, starring Dan Aykroyd along with Jamie Lee Curtis, Macaulay Culkin, and Anna Chlumsky in her first role in a major motion picture. Now, the film tells the story of an 11-year-old girl living in Madison, Pennsylvania during the summer of '72. Now, the film's title refers to the classic song by The Temptations, which was a hit in '64, which is also featured in the film's end credits. This film, I've come to like it even more, even though I did see it long ago, but then after watching it a few more times, including twice on Netflix, I gotta say, I really do think this movie's really good. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So, let's get into the story. In the summer of 1972, Veda Sultanfuss is an 11-year-old girl and a hypochondriac living in Madison, Pennsylvania. Her father, Harry Sultanfuss, is an awkward widower and funeral director who does not understand his daughter, so he constantly ignores her. Their house, which operates as the town's funeral parlor, has led his daughter to develop an obsession with death. Veda regularly tends to her grandmu, they call her, who suffers from Alzheimer's disease and whose wandering mind likewise affects Veda. Her uncle Phil lives nearby and frequently stops by to help the family. Veda hangs out with her best friend, Thomas J. Sennett, an unpopular boy her age who is allergic to everything. However, other girls except Judy tease the two, thinking they are more than just friends. Thomas J. often accompanies Veda when she visits the doctor, who assures her that she is not sick and that she has no chicken bones stuck in her throat. Veda's summer begins well. She befriends Shelley DeVoto, the new makeup artist at her father's funeral parlor, who provides her with some much-needed guidance. She also develops a crush on her 5th grade school teacher, Mr. Bixler, and hears about an adult poetry writing class that he is teaching. Veda steals some money from the cookie jar in Shelley's trailer to cover the cost of the class. When advised to write about what is in her soul, Veda fears that she killed her mother, who died 2 days after giving birth to her. Soon things start to fall apart. When Harry and Shelley start dating, this begins to affect Veda's attitude towards Shelley. One night, Veda follows Harry and Shelley to a bingo game and brings Thomas J along to disrupt it. On the 4th of July, when Shelley's ex-husband Danny arrives, Veda hopes that he is there to take Shelley back, but to no avail. Veda becomes even more shocked when Harry and Shelley announce their engagement at a carnival, leading her to contemplate running away with Thomas J. Veda is starting to see changes within herself as she is running around screaming that she is hemorrhaging. Shelley politely explains to her that her first period is a completely natural process, as Veda realizes this only occurs with girls. She doesn't want to see Thomas J., who happens to come out shortly afterward. A couple of days later, though, Veda and Thomas J. are sitting under a tree by the river, where they share an innocent first kiss. Soon, the two come across a beehive hanging from a tree, which Thomas J decides to knock down. Veda loses her mood ring in the process, so they start looking for it, but the search is cut short as the bees start swarming, making them run away. Thomas J later returns by himself and finds the ring. Unfortunately, because he kicked the beehive beforehand, the bees begin to swarm the boy just as he finds the ring. Unable to escape, he dies from an allergic reaction. Horrible, my friends. Alright, now for the final act and the ending. You know the procedure as always. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, continue on. Here we go. Okay, you've been warned. Harry is left to deliver the tragic news to Veda, which devastates her so much that she will not even leave her bedroom. When she attends Thomas J's funeral, her emotions become so strong that she runs away. Veda hurries to Mr. Bixler's house, wanting to stay with him, and discovers that he is about to get married to someone else. She then runs to her and Thomas J's hangout spot near the tree to reflect on what has happened. When Veda returns home, everyone is relieved, including Shelley, whom Veda begins to accept as her future stepmother. Her grief also manages to mend the rift between her and her father. Harry explains to Veda that her mother's death wasn't her fault, and things like that can happen without explanation. Toward the end of the summer, Veda and her father see Mrs. Sennett, who still struggles with her son's death. She gives Veda her mood ring back that Thomas J had found, and Veda gives Mrs. Sennett some comfort. On the last day of writing class, Veda reads a poem summoning the loss of her best friend before going out to spend some time with her new friend Judy. End of story. So, what did I think of My Girl? Well, I must say it's a really good coming of age dramedy, and I think it's amazing. I really like the setting of it being in 72 and what have you, the atmosphere of this. Now, some of it can be a little bit of has a bit of tear jerky moments, like the death of Thomas J. It almost does make me feel like I want to cry because it kind of brings me back to losing, well, one of my best friends, even though she wasn't young though, but well, she was one of my main closest friends. Anyway, yeah. But nevertheless, I really enjoyed this. I liked the story. It would later become a book as well, written by Patricia Hermes. And the film did pretty well. It went on to make 121 million worldwide. The soundtrack of the film also contains songs from the 60s and 70s, like the title song, as well as other songs like The Fifth Dimension's Wedding Bell Blues or Good Lovin' by the Rascals and Bad Moon Rising by CCR and Saturday in the Park by Chicago. Shoot, when Veda gets upset in a few scenes, she plugs her ears and sings a bit of "Do Wah Diddy Diddy," the Manfred Mann version of which is also included on the soundtrack album, but the song's not in the movie, however. Anyway, the film did get some pretty good response and what have you. I agree with them. Like I said, this film's very good. It has some pretty fun moments, but like I said, it does have some tear jerking moments, you know. Even so, I do like the story and its atmosphere. The cast is very good too. Dan Aykroyd does a very good job in playing Harry, and Jamie Lee Curtis doing Shelley is very good. Macaulay Culkin, just after he did Home Alone the previous year, and he just more recently did his Saturday morning series Wish Kid, which was on NBC at the time, plays Thomas J, and he does an absolutely good job too. Richard Masur, the only film I can remember this guy from was the film License to Drive with the two Coreys. I have yet to review that. I haven't seen that film for some time. I might think of reviewing that sometime down the road. He plays Phil, and Griffin Dunn as Mr. Bixler was really good, but the big star of this was young Anna Chlumsky as Veda. Boy, I was really impressed with her performance. This was incredible. I mean, I know she was kind of a little, well, the character of Veda, but even so, I really like Chlumsky's performance, and that's all I can tell you. So anyway, with a pretty good story, good directing, a good soundtrack, which the score was done by James Newton Howard, which that wasn't too bad, and a great cast. So in the end, would I recommend My Girl? The answer is hell yeah. This is definitely one flick you gotta see. I must say, My Girl is just such an amazing film. Anyway, after this, there would be a sequel to this, which got released 3 years later. But well, let me put it to you this way: it's not as good as this one, though. But it tries to do its extreme best, though, even though it takes place a couple of years after the events of the first film, and it still provides a good soundtrack. I'll try and review the sequel sometime down the road. All right. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on My Girl in the comments section below. If you like this movie, click the like button below. Subscribe to my channel and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you my spoiler-free review of the new Disney animated feature, Encanto. Thank you for watching, and if you like this, you may want to consider checking out my reviews for these other coming of age flicks and what have you. In the upper left hand corner is my review for the book-based film To All the Boys I Loved Before. Actually, it's a re-review of the first film. Or go to the upper right hand corner and see the re-review I did for The Kissing Booth. Or if you'd like to see what Macaulay Culkin was doing before this, you can see my review of Home Alone in the bottom left-hand corner. It's a long video that I did a couple of years ago, but it's done pretty well, so I don't know if I'm going to redo it. Not this year, anyway. But anyway, and the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.